Willie D Live.
What's up, family? You've heard all about the Diddy exploits, the freak-offs. It's a slippery slope. But did you know that as Diddy was being tried, so were two Jewish women for similar offenses? Yeah, fam. It went down. They were actually found guilty in a Brooklyn federal court. A federal jury convicted Nicole Didon, the founder and former chief executive officer of One Taste, Inc., a sexual wellness education company, and Rachel Cherix, the company's former head of sales, of forced labor, conspiracy in connection with their coercive scheme to obtain the labor and services of certain One Taste employees. To achieve their goal, check out what they did, fam. The defendants and their co-conspirators subjected the victims to economic, sexual, emotional, financial, and psychological abuse, as well as surveillance, indoctrination, and intimidation. The verdict was returned after a 5-week trial before United States District Judge Diane Gujarati. If convicted, both women face up to 20 years in prison. And why hadn't we heard about this? I get it. Diddy's a big-time celebrity. But this is a big-time case, y'all. Two women getting hit with federal charges of indoctrinating their employees for sex, coercion, intimidation. Two Jewish women. Y'all know this is a big case. They swept this case under the rug on purpose. And this is once again, family, why I do not trust the media. Because the media knew about this case and they said nothing of it. They kept it low pro. It's going on at the time, or it was going on at the same time Diddy trial was going on. Yeah, they reached a verdict of guilty while Diddy was on trial. They knew this would have been a case that people would draw comparisons to. They knew, and they purposely kept it out of the spotlight because they didn't want any more attention on those women than was already put on them. Boy, it's a cold game out here, man. This is a cold-blooded game. These women had a real sex enterprise. Family, they're so cold-blooded with it. They were so cold-blooded with it. Netflix did a documentary about them, Orgasm, Inc. The story of One Taste. They got a whole documentary out there. I know Diddy got a few himself, but come on, fam. Women, two women, Orgasm, Inc. That's not headline news. I don't care who's on trial. That's headline news. But they kept it from us. The media. I do not trust mainstream media. This is why it's so important to support independent media. And this is why I do it. I mean, I'm in it. I'm part of independent media. But this is why I'm such a great supporter and proponent for independent media. Because mainstream media is bought and paid for and has always been in cahoots with the government. They've always colluded with the government, you know? And if you think about it, it makes sense. Because if the media is out there saying things that's adverse to the government's agenda, the government can just go in and shut the media down. I don't care what they say, all that old talk that they be talking about, independent media and, fair and that, those are just words, man. It's just talk. That's talk to win our trust, to make us think that these people are legitimate, but they're not. They're all part of the program. They're all part of the program. They're all part of the oligarchy. Yeah, man. They're all part of it. They're all guilty. All of the big ones, man, they've been bought and paid for. Yeah. 2 Women, Orgasm Inc. The story of One Taste. One Taste. They even got, at least Bad Boy, Bad Boy could be anything, It just sound like, some roughnecks or whatever. But they got, sexual terms in the name. One taste. All you need is one taste. Boy, I bet they had some hell of a commercials. All it takes is one taste for you to drop your panties. One taste and you'll be hooked. One taste. I wonder if they was doing some other things like, giving them, narcotics and all of that stuff too. Yeah. Pills, well, they had to, all that go together. The pills, the white stuff, I'm talking about stuff to go up your nose, all that kind of stuff. But come on, fam, you got to admit, I know sometimes y'all be thinking I be doing a little bit too much, man, with, calling these people out, I know some of y'all be like, man, you always got to, Yeah, man, that's because they are always doing too much. They do too much. I don't even want to cover half of this stuff, man, but I'm like, nah, man, I got to cover that. I got to put that out there. I couldn't let this slide. I actually was supposed to run this story. When it was happening, I was supposed to run the story, but it got away from me because there's so much other stuff that's going on. But yeah, this is a big story, though. It's a huge story. And people need to know what's going on. They need to know that you got 2 women out there who are actually have been accused and convicted of damn near the same thing. But their story has not been dragged through the streets. I wonder why. Their reputations haven't really been dragged through the streets. Diddy's everywhere, you can't miss it. Wait a minute. I just had a dope idea. What if Diddy collabed with those 2 women and they did a play called One Taste of Bad Boy? That would sell out. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.